Well, let's talk about contact tracing. Now, you know by now one person can infect more than 2 people, 4 people, sometimes goes all the way to 13, and those same people can infect more. There's a new computer application whose developers say could hasten COVID-19 contact tracing here in Kenya. The app tracks everyone who has been tested for the virus and helps in identifying every person who comes into contact with them. It has already been deployed in parts of Uganda, but as Faizal Ahmed reports, data protection concerns have stalled its use in Kenya.
Imagine you've been diagnosed as COVID-19 positive. Health officials begin contact tracing to contain the infections, asking you to identify people who you have been in close contact with. The obvious people come to mind, your family and your co-workers. But what about the person who was in line with you last week at the supermarket, or the man buying groceries at the local mama mboga, or any other stranger who you have come into close contact with in the last 14 days?
In the system that is Uganda data.
Oaknet, an ICT solutions company in Kenya, says it has come up with a solution that would enable one to know the COVID-19 status of people within their surrounding. Using either data from your mobile network service provider or from Apple and Google, you can track an individual's movements.
And what all of that app would do, it would be, among other things, be tracking your movements and movements of other people around you. And we've seen the technologies that are already available to do this. So that if I walk into a restaurant X, the application will know that I was in this restaurant, and will also capture details of other people who are around me in that restaurant. So should I later become identified as having COVID-19, from the system will be able to tell me, the authorities who have access, who else has been in close proximity with me.
The app will let you know if the person you have come in contact with has been tested for the virus, their temperature, among other details, including if that particular person is from a high-risk area.
If we have data about people who have been tested and are, say, positive with the COVID-19, and those people are using the same app, it's possible for that solution to, for example, warn other people that are in close proximity, that in close proximity with somebody who has COVID-19. Or the other uses would be you are in close contact with other people. At that point, you don't know your status for COVID-19. If one of you later tests positive, then the app is able to tell who are the people you have been in contact with in the recent past.
Uganda has already adopted the technology and is using it as part of their contact tracing methods. Rwanda has recently opted to use digital tools in coronavirus contact tracing. The authorities there have assembled a team using mobile phone data profiles to trace people who have come in contact with COVID-19 patients. The Indian government too announced on Friday that all workers, both in public and the private sector, are required to install the nation's COVID-19 contact tracing app as it begins to ease some of its lockdown measures for low-risk areas. But the app has raised privacy and data protection concerns. Its proprietors say that they have not been able to get headway into the country owing to data protection laws. Kenya's Data Protection Act, which was enacted in 2019, is heavy on privacy of personal information of individuals. It establishes the Office of the Data Protection Commissioner, makes provision for regulation of the processing of personal data, provides for rights of data subject and obligations of data controllers and processors. The current pandemic is bound to test new laws as authorities grapple with the delicate balance between privacy and safety. Faizal Ahmed, Citizen TV, Nairobi.